Merci, Jackie. To your health as well. For you, Andre, my brave little brother. I suppose now that you are fighting with the resistance, we no longer dilute your wine, n'est pas? I've been living on and off in the Rochelaw barn for many days, with the most hideous rats you have ever saw. Of course, I could not let on in front of the Rochelaw children that they scared me half to death. So I said, "Ooh la la, now there's a big one. I suppose we shall give it a name?" Ha! Their name's the ugly thing, Jacqueline. À vous, mademoiselle. Why, thank you, children. Oh, Andre, did I tell you that Grandmama brought her bicycle all this way just to be sure I was safe? Of course, it would be a foolish soldier who would try to confiscate a bike with Gran on it. I hope you both have a dry barn to sleep in tonight. So the fleas bite you half to death, no? Oh, pardon, Francois. I have not brought one for you, mon cher. If my little brother was not sitting here with us, I would tell you how much I miss you. But for now, well, tomorrow, I shall fix the pump and mend the wheelbarrow and go on counting the days. The Germans have finally left the area, and it feels so good to be safe again. You see, they did not get the nativity scene. I took it with me in the pram. I wish the news were better. This awful snowy weather means that we cannot get air support from the Allies. But still, tonight is a glorious night, and I pray that wherever you are, the Christmas stars keep you safe. Jackie, is it time for that nice cheese you have hid away to celebrate the Christ child's birth? Mais oui, what a clever girl you are! Why, thank you. No, thank you. By the way, my loves, maybe you have noticed this rather strange habit I acquired of talking to myself. It comes from being alone. Unless it is senility. Do not worry. I shall return to the soup with the cheese.
Do not make a sound, fellow. I warn you, just once. Where's the others?
There's no one here.
Think I cannot see there are 3 places set.
I can see we are both shaking. You're frightened, as am I.
Me? Frightened? Listen to me. I am a soldier of the German army. I have a knife on her, and I will use it, unless you come out with your hands up.
With their hands up? Monsieur, you were talking to a few old hens out in the barn.
Giving you one more chance. Who's that vine board for?
My brother and my fiancé are all fighting. I set extra places so I won't feel so alone. That is the truth. It is only that I noticed you are bleeding.
It is not.
I will not have you bleeding on my kitchen floor. So if you will put aside that knife, s'il vous plaît, I will take care of it. Mon Dieu, it needs antiseptic. Of course, they have stolen it. Perhaps a little vinegar will do. I'm sorry.
Please do not be frightened of me, Fräulein. I will not harm you.
Thank you, monsieur. So, you will put out your arm? I know it stings a lot.
I feel nothing.
It should prevent infection. I will look for a soft cloth. I took some things while I was away some nights. It has not been good here.
Not good, eh?
Yes, but it is here I am talking about. First, the planes. To destroy the roads, they said. But everywhere they bombed human beings. Never will I forget the sounds. The bombs screaming, then the people. That was the worst. Broken people crying for a doctor to help. Old people crying like babies for their mothers. And the bodies of children staring motionless in death. Then the German troops came, and morphine was eating at their stomach. They were everywhere, day and night. Until finally, one morning, everything was quiet. It has been many days since any German troops were here. So what are you doing out here, bothering me like this?
I'm sorry. Walking for many days through the forest.
Suppose you have not eaten. Eh bien, Christmas Eve, no one should go hungry.
Is it Christmas Eve?
You did not know?
Stay right where you are. Who speaks English?
Most of us understand and speak well enough, monsieur.
So, your absent French fighter is an American.
I do not know him.
Okay. Stay right where you are, both of you.
Please, I only wish to tell you.
You don't need to tell me anything until I have a look around.
My God, taken in by a child.
I am 18 years old, and I think you are not much older yourself.
True, but I am a soldier of the German army.
Will you be quiet about the German army
Tricked by a bee.
and allow your ego a little holiday?
You cannot speak to me like
Shut
that.
up! I think you're both forgetting I'm the one with the gun on you. Now who are you and what's going on here?
I am Jacqueline Brulé, and I live here. I do not want any harm, so I would like for everyone to sit down.
Well, then you don't make rules for me. How long you been collaborating with the Nazis?
She was not collaborating.
This soldier came in here just as you do. Since it was Christmas Eve, I was giving him something to eat.
It's Christmas Eve. Already?
Yes, and since this is my home, I would like everyone to sit down now.
Right. It's what we're all gonna do. Sit down. But don't forget, guns don't have rules of etiquette. In fact, this gun has the first and last word here.
I was about to cut some bread. Of course, this awful Panois is all we can get, but the cheese is good.
You got any vehicles around here?
I'm afraid not, monsieur. We still use horse and wagon on the farm.
Okay. You stay here with me. I'm gonna need some provisions for the road and a blanket and some kind of transport. You got that?
What do you have in mind, a fancy carriage?
Doesn't have to be fancy.
That's lucky.
Whatever goes the fastest.
That is up to you, monsieur, since you will be pulling it yourself.
Listen, I've been walking along the road for days, puking and crapping my guts out on the side of the road. If you're not chumming with the enemy, and that better be true, you best remember who your friends are.
Yes, and if you would not speak to me that way, it would be easier.
I'm sorry, but I need your fastest horse. Damn it, will you listen to me? I assume you've got something out in that barn out there that's got legs, so whatever it is, you hitch it to a wagon, and I'll make the best time that I can. Does someone want to tell me what's so funny? You know, to me, this war is no joke.
I suppose I smile because I am too tired to feel much fear anymore. I am tired of being lonely and cold and hungry, and I'm so very tired of this war. Then, when I try to pretend a little joy on Christmas Eve, what do I get? You two. So, I suppose a smile is forgivable, as I pictured you being pulled through the countryside by two skinny little hens.
I thought you said you had horses.
Not since the soldiers came. Luckily, they overlooked a cat and a few hens. How sad. On this glorious night, you are both separated from your units. Lost in...
Hell no, wasn't lost.
I'm not lost. They know where I am and they will be here very soon.
Are they ready for a little skirmish? Because my buddies will be here any minute.
Yeah? Is that why you are so eager to get away?
Just shut up, okay? What the hell are you doing?
These were made by my grandfather. Each one carved by hand.
Very nice.
See, we are allowed to place one thing in the crate for each of the deed we have done during effort. We do it this way. Blessed Mary, I know this night is difficult for you, but do not be afraid. This sheep will help keep your baby warm, and wise men are on the way. This sheep is from me, Jacqueline Brulette, who also was very tired last night. She said her prayers. And this is from... Monsieur, your name?
I am called Reinhold Schultz.
Jeez, that's a good kraut name.
His good deed was... Do not worry, you can use the same as mine. He too was very tired last night, Mary, but I know he said his prayers. And here is the shepherd from... Monsieur, your name? Mary is waiting.
Miller, Eddie Miller.
Miller, huh? You have a good crop name yourself.
Miller's as American as apple pie.
Oh, to be sure. Herr Mueller. Oh, did it reach a nerve? You are a traitor, fighting against your own blood.
My grandfather came to the USA a long time ago, so that makes me 100% American. If you say anything like that again, you'll be spitting your teeth. You got it?
Stop! You will not be enemies in this house.
Not be enemies. That is foolish talk, Fräulein. He has a gun. He is in no position to take a prisoner. So as soon as it pleases him, he will kill you, and he will enjoy it. You have heard, perhaps, how the Americans kept bombing the south of France, even when there was no further need, except to enjoy the destruction.
Never heard stuff like that, but I can tell you what I have seen. Germans annihilating everyone in sight, all for the Fuhrer.
I wish you could read my friend's well. He says that war makes people on both sides commit unspeakable atrocities. I believe he is right. Both of you, stop playing enemy roles. Not on this night. Not on Christmas Eve. Did you hear what happened in the trenches during the First World War on Christmas Eve?
Christ almighty, who gives a damn?
Come, Eddie Miller. On this side, the Germans. On this side, the Americans. The Germans can hear from across the field. It is the Americans singing. Soon the Americans can hear the Germans singing. One by one, they each leave the safety of their trenches to come and say Joie Noël. That is, the Americans would say it this way. Come, what did the Americans say to the Germans? Come on, say it. Say to him, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merci. And the Germans would say,
Hoya Weihnacht.
Oh, that's a bunch of baloney.
No, she speaks the truth. I remember hearing something from my uncle.
the soldiers smile. It is good for them to smile for a change. They are so tired of the killing. One man offers cigarettes, another has coins. They exchange whatever they can as gifts, and they show up pictures. See, says one, these are my beautiful children. These beautiful children are yours? What a lucky man. And this is my lovely wife. You can see, she is as lovely as my wife. That is certain. You are a lucky man yourself. Remember, these are men taught to call one another the enemy.
So then what happened?
Eventually, they had to go back to their trenches.
And then?
Unfortunately, the next day they had to resume fighting with one another.
You and your touching little stories. You know, you didn't know a thing about life, whereas I had to find out in a hurry. A guy graduates high school so that he can have a future. Is that so much to expect? But Uncle Sam grabs you and you're shoved overseas. They tell you you better get the bastards before they get you. Go ahead, soldier, walk right up to the bullets, and unless you're dead, you're gonna see things that are gonna give you nightmares for the rest of your life. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, guys right next to me. Pieces of them landing on me. I've lost a cousin and some damn good buddies in this war already. So why don't you wake up from your little Mary is waiting dream and join the rest of the world?
My parents, caught in crossfire, innocent victims of this war, but whose innocent bullets killed them, German, American, maybe even French. My father, he has always walked with the limp, you see, since the First World War. They said that when the gunfire started, they shouted to him. They yelled, "Run! Run!" Poor Papa, he could not make it. And Mama, she was not leaving. They never hurt a soul, either one of them. And I will never see them again. Never. Listen to me, both
not know sometimes what is real anymore. I barely remember what it is like to be clean and civilized. To say bitte and danke.
To sit on a toilet seat. To have clothes that aren't covered in lice. To have real food eat with a fork. And over here, your hands are always covered in filth and blood.
Tonight, no one is an enemy. You will both leave in separate paths without looking back. It is not very festive for Christmas. But, of course, I expected no one here but myself.
But you forget the hens.
Of course, I should have decorated.
It is no matter. I have known few hens who appreciate the finer things.
Yeah.
We could put out our shoes for Pierre Noël, though we would have to fill them with snow instead of candy.
My very first memory of a piece of candy is from my little shoe. A fancy chocolate that Neck Ruprecht left in my little brown shoe. Advent was the only time of year I had any power over my brother Gunther. He was afraid that if I told he was being naughty, that Neck Ruprecht would use his switch.
On what night do you put out your shoes in America?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You know, so Pierre Noël can put in little sweets if you have been a good boy. I believe in America you put your shoes in the windowsill.
Oh, you mean hang up my stocking?
Oh, you're serious? You hang up your stocking in the window. I'm sorry, but doesn't Pierre Noël laugh at such a thing?
Fräulein, you still do not believe...
Of course not. I found out the truth last year when my shoe was empty.
When I was a kid, my mother used to let us paint pine cones. All we had was this silver radiator paint. We almost passed out from the fumes, but we thought our silver cones were fancy enough for John D. Rockefeller. Kids don't do stuff like that now. They got tinsel you buy in the stores.
In Germany, for so many years, there has been no money, ever since the First War. My grandmother says the world has been bleeding Germany dry, making us pay reparations when our people have no work, no food. Some of our children were dying of starvation, until Hitler came along and set us back on our feet. My family was lucky as many. My father's a surgeon, as I will be also. He teases my mother that he will hang a sign in the parlor window with little blinking lights that says, "Schultz and Son Surgeons," und Mama Schultz at the piano. Yeah, but that will have to wait until God decides it is time for us to win the war.
I think that Eddie Miller believes just as strongly that God is on his side. So perhaps we should not make God part of such a conversation. When the war is over, Francois and I will be married. His parents are waiting for us to take over the farm. And I will have 4 little boys, each one named Francois.
This here's Dottie. As soon as we get married, we're going to a spot I picked out in the mountains where we're going to raise kids and horses. I gave her a diamond before I left. I'm going to get her another, an even bigger one for our first anniversary. Yep, I'm one lucky son of a bitch. Oh, excuse me, Jacqueline.
The stars are out. I remember that on Christmas Eve we would walk to the village for Mass. So excited to be out at midnight. Papa would bring the wagon for the ride home. And Mama, she would tuck us under a big scratchy blanket. Then, when we went home and fell asleep, they would set the tree in this very room for piano well to decorate. After he had filled our shoes, of course. Here. Let us have a treat.
I remember when Papa and Mama would decorate the trees, they would say, "All right, you two shoot." Gunther and I must wait upstairs until all was ready. But then we would fall all over each other to be the first to open the parlor door. All dark inside except for the sparklers and candles on the tree. And then later, after we opened presents, Uncle Boris would dance around the tree and we would all join in.
Yes. Come along, Eddie Miller.
You know, I used to be a pretty good jitterbugger in high school.
Yeah. When we got too wild, my mom would say,
All right, little ones, it is time. Shall we sing a carol to the Christ kind?
in those days we were happy. We hated no one.
I will get something for Christmas Eve supper. What happened?
One ran off, didn't he? Didn't think he'd do it, you know, but what the hell, at least he didn't shoot me. He could have, you know. Oh, Jesus, my cuts are screaming. And now I've hit my damn head.
I have something in here.
What the Christ, damn.
Take some of this. It will soothe the bowel. The dysentery that comes from malnutrition, it causes severe pain and this sudden weakness. Me, I was able to be nourished today by stealing potato skins from a farmer's pig. Potato skins and maggots. Yesterday, I took a packet of chocolate and some cabbage soup off the body of a dead soldier. Such things no longer make me shudder.
Sorry, man. I thought you made a run for it. Couldn't have blamed you, I guess.
You might have an important bump there. Cold water and a strip of cloth might help, Fräulein.
Food will make everyone feel better.
Thanks. You know, you'll make a real good doctor someday, and I hope it'll be soon.
You and your children, your missus, will raise happy children in the mountains soon.
Christmas supper. There's Lord for the bread and some meat. Of course it is cow's lungs, but you both need your strength.
You are a good person, Jacqueline. It is a handsome Christmas supper.
Peace to you, Eddie Miller, on this night and forevermore. Peace to you, Reinhold Folks, on this night and forevermore.
Peace to you.
His name is Eddie.
Peace to you, Eddie. Same here, Reinhold.
It is time, little ones, it is time. Shall we sing a carol to greet the Christ kind?
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round
and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth.
It was 6 months before the fighting stopped. For so many of them, not soon enough.
Oh, it leaves no one untouched. The defining moment came for me soon after Christmas Eve, in what the Americans call the Battle of the Bulge. When it happened, it startled me that I felt nothing. So strange to feel nothing. Bone and muscle shattered, the whole forearm destroyed. The end of Schultz and Son surgeons. It almost killed my father, of course. But the worst was to come later. When we found out that my brother Gunther would never be coming home from the Russian front.
My folks had heard on the radio that the 106th got wiped out at the Bulge. So, when I came back in one piece, it was a day to celebrate. A day to celebrate. Except that Dottie wasn't at the house. My mother was the one who had to tell me. She'd run off and got herself pregnant, Eddie, gonna marry some soldier from out west. So you better forget about her. Just like that. Forget about her, Eddie. She turned out to be no good. You see, Ma wouldn't understand what can happen to good people in wartime. I guess I fell apart, went out of my head for a while. They had me over in the VA until I got back on my feet, and I even got married. We live in one of those new developments like they're building now with the little yards out back. I planted a couple of tomatoes and some nasturtiums for Jenny. Sometimes I like to go out back and just look up at the stars. Life's okay.
I'm a school teacher now, 3rd grade, Augsburg Grundschule. It is Guten Morgen, Herr Schulz. Danke, Herr Schulz. Until I'm out of earshot, and then they call me Alt Schulzi. I try to light the academic fire under them. And when we study the heavens, I say, notice, children, how the stars populate the sky without having to destroy one another. Young Kurt, my budding scientist, he looks up at those stars with his bright eyes and says, on the stars, Herr Schulz. They are good for wishing on too, yeah? Yeah, Kurt, I say. They are excellent for wishing on. And you must never stop.
As you see, I am still here on the Brule farm. Still feeding the chickens, still fixing the old pump. My brother, Andre, and his wife are here with me. And their little boy is out. They named Francois. We do not talk about the war, my brother and I. But sometimes on a clear winter's evening, after I've said my good night prayers, I look up at the stars and whisper to them, to you, Eddie Miller. And peace to you, Reinhold folks.